The owner and creator behind CarolJo's. I need to get you guys closer together. I am live today on two different devices for TikTok and the Tube. So I just my phones were like this, and I just need to bring them together so it was easier to look back and forth. We do here at Carol Joe's do lots of different things. We are here about the jewelry and accessory community. We're bringing the community and creativity together. We do tutorials twice a week. Right now, today is going to be a tutorial. It may be a little bit different than we normally do, but I'll explain it in a moment. We also do chats where you can bring your questions that you want about jewelry making, about running a small business, bring it to the live and we will discuss it as a community. We will have one of those. I am moving that from tonight to tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We decided to flip our family night and we're going to do it tonight instead of tomorrow night. Then we also do makers meetups. We've already had one this week, but please watch our schedule for the next one. That is where we come together. You can show us what you're working on, what you've created. We just talk as a community about that. And we also, if you want to just make while we're there, go ahead, come listen, make. You can join us on one of the boxes. We do those on TikTok only. Then we do live events. The live events is where you get to add items to your bead collection, and we have all different types of items available. Um, and so it's a great time to stock up. If it's an encore where you've had it before, want to stock up, that type of thing, or if you didn't see it, you can add it. We have debuts, which is where there are the first time they've been here. Hi, Geraldine. We also have this weekend we do not have a live on a Saturday, but next Saturday we're going to have silicone beads only. Hi, Kay. So we do specialty ones with it where it's one kind of item, or we might have just all different kinds. So those are what we do here. Now today our topic is, it is called Fall Stack Bracelet Tutorial. And as I thought about this, I'm like, you know what? I want to take a little bit deeper dive than we've done in the past. We've done stack bracelets before with different seasons, different themes, that type of thing. We've done these stretchy bracelets before. So we do have videos that you can watch a replay of on the tube for that type of thing. Hi there, Josh. But today I wanted to spend a little bit more time talking about the fall colors for 2025 by the different categories of the color, like in brown. What color browns are going to be popular? And work our way through all the colors that are going to be popular so that you know that information. And then we're going to talk about pairing colors together. Hi, Benjamin. And the reason being is that we always have the color wheel, but this the information I'm going to give today, I think is just takes out that color wheel and just helps you out. So we're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about different things like the shapes of the beads and how some of them go together better than others. And then that helps then you to formulate a plan of what beads do you want to put together to create a stack. So we're going to talk more today than we normally do on a tutorial, but I think it's good information. Thanks for the reminder there, Nordic Luna. If you are on TikTok, don't forget to share with people that you know that want to see this. Also, add it to your story or repost it, or all three. Hi, Ashley. Thank you. So that is what we're going to be doing today. And if we already got past our 10 shares. Awesome. 10,000 likes. We start doing giveaway. And last night we brought back bead soup, everybody. So if you weren't on last night, we got that. And I do not have my backup account up. So if I missed a comment of saying hi to somebody, I apologize. Not my thing that I was trying to do. Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to show you one of the stacks that I ended up making as the example for today's live, okay? And here it is. I'm going to show you over here in just a moment. I'm showing TikTok first, and then there it is. You can wear this in different ways. You don't have to have it, but you will notice there's one thing I will tell you about stacks that you need to know. Your wrist gets bigger as it goes up. So your smallest size will go here and go work. So that is, yeah. And so that's what I wanted to, you will see, if you look at these sideways, you will see my links are different between all three. And that's the reason why. If you would have a large one here and you want it to stay here, it's not going to stay. It's going to hop around. Okay. All right. So that's the first tidbit about stacks. The second is I want to talk about, and I'm going to bring I got it up here on my tablet so I don't forget it. I did print this one out. That's why I can't see comments because I'm not bringing up a backup. Okay. So, colors for fall, and I'm looking at just fall 2025. I did not ask it to give me the winter colors because this is what we will do like when you hit like September, October, part of November. That's what I'm thinking when I think fall. Okay. What the heck? You guys got to somebody do it and let me see what it is because I didn't see what it was. They said that the likes are not hearts today. I can't. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's just for me, it's got like little dots around it. Woohoo! Okay. But when I see after you guys have done it, I don't see that. You guys only get to see it. TikTok is doing a weird one for us today. Ah, all right. So we're gonna go through colors. Yep. I did it. I don't have the backup account, so I can't do it from my backup account because I'm using my tablet. Hi there, Geraldine. It's got my info on it. All right, so colors. The colors are chocolate brown and mocha. So this would be like an espresso color, the mocha, the cocoa. Oh my lord, cocoa, dark walnut, coffee bean. So you're looking at those like darker browns with a little bit of the white in them. Some of the hearts are lightning bolts, heart chest lightning bolts. I don't see those. All I'm seeing here is hearts, everybody. TikTok's different. All right. And then remember I said we can do reds earlier when we went over colors a couple of weeks ago? The fall colors of reds are going to be your burgundy and wine color. Those to me are reds. Um, Hello. Yes, I am a proud grandma. Incredibly incredible 5048. Hi, Trisha. So it would be the Merlot, the Bordeaux, cranberry, mulberry, and blackberry. And we've had some of those colors in there. In I know you guys aren't my kids or my grandkids because I know their user IDs. So so we've seen some of those. Um, we're doing a tutorial about colors for fall that we can make stack bracelets with. Okay? That's what we're talking about. So the burgundies wines, that's our red tones for the fall. For your orange, because of course, orange is part of the fall. I have orange in here. It is burnt orange, rust, copper, pumpkin, cinnamon, and terracotta. Hi, Julie C. So, and you will see in some of these oranges are different tones. They can lean towards, like, if you think cinnamon, you don't think orange for that, but it's orange. And the thing is that you can have that brown to orange tones, and that's what we're looking at right now. There's a little bit of red in there, but we want more of that natural. So just think about it that way for your orange tones. And that was one thing that I was having a hard time when I was trying to select beads for this, is trying to get those colors of orange. For mustard, we'll get to greens in just a second. Hi, Lulu. Mustard, or the yellows, is like a golden mustard. So your yellows are mustard, goldenrod. We have lots of goldenrod here. Honey, Dijon, and antique gold. So, we talked about antique bronze. You can also bring in that antique gold. It's not the bright, bright gold. It is like the light gold or the antique gold is what's really the color. So for metals, you still can do silver, but they are looking towards those. For greens, we have olive, moss, sage, yay, sage, forest, avocado, and eucalyptus. So think like to me, when I think of those, the earthy ones. Fall is the leaves that are green that are going to turn to all the other colors. It goes into the yellows and the reds. That's where you want to get into the earthy tone when I hear those. I am not a fan of bright gold either. You will see I do not usually use the bright gold, hardly ever. It is not a favorite color of mine to use. I'd rather use light gold if I have to use gold. I I'm getting there with rose gold too. I am just not. Silver is my go-to. You guys will find out. Silver is my go-to. And silver is still in, but when we are talking just specifically fall, we're going to have that. Purples. The rich tone colors of purples. Eggplant, plum, amethyst, deep violet. Who decides what colors are in is a question being asked. There are fashion people that say these are the colors, and they will have the fashion colors out there. Like if you can go out there, you can get right now, of course, we're going to get the fall 2025. We'll have winter 2026, spring and summer for 2020, or I'm sorry, 2027, fall winter for 2027. The spring and summer for 2027 is already out there. And I haven't looked, but I'm betting the fall winter 27 to 28 is already out there. They're in advance because you have to get materials made. You have to make the beads created, all of that type of stuff. So colors are determined in advance, at least almost 2 years. So think of it that way. That is really, really, our world is so fast paced. But when you think about having to make something, they do have to slow it down and create it. And there is a group out there. I keep thinking Peloton, but that's not it. That is those bikes, stationary bikes. There, it starts with a P, and I can't think of it right now. They do the colors. You will see them give you the colors. And they'll tell you, here's the ones that are the most popular for that season, and here are all the colors that will go with it, and also some other coordinating colors. Thank you, Jose, for the finger heart. So for blues, the color for the fall is navy, midnight, cobalt, storm blue, denim blue. So you're talking those deeper blues. Ah, thank you. I haven't had a hat and mustache in a while, so thank you. Ah, made my day. Something so simple. Thank you. Um, for our neutrals, we have warm neutrals. Think about like cream, oatmeal, camel, taupe, mushroom. And so mushroom is like that. Mushroom to me is that color that is between white and gray, like a really lighter gray. So that's the mushroom, and warm ivory. So think about not your starch white, but a step up in that warm tone. Then we have charcoals. So this would be more of your darker grays, graphite, charcoal, pewter, and smoke gray. That is what we are got for the grays. Thanks for those pictures. Now I got it. So, yeah, so that's the colors. So now you're like, okay, I've got all these colors, but how in the world do I put them together? So with my friend ChatGPT, I asked it to give me color combinations of that list. That's why I have this here, is because he's got a whole list here for us. And when I saw these, I was like, this makes sense. So this takes out Yep. So Virginia's telling us, yep. Hi, Zuli. So this will take us out in putting the color combinations together because when you hear the color chocolate, you're like, where on the color wheel is chocolate and how do I get it to fit in with all the other colors? This takes helps you so you don't have to have the color wheel as much. So here they are. We have chocolate, mustard, and cream together. Thank you. Rocky's Creation put this in there. I'm going to put this up. If you guys will ever need to know colors, just ask for Pantone. That is what it is, not Peloton. Oh, thank you. I've never had a gold medal ever before. Thank you, Jose. You're so sweet. So there's three. So you're looking at a darker brown, the mustard color yellow, and that warm cream color. Can you imagine those in your head now that they gave those to you? And you're like, oh, I can go grab beads for that. Also, another combination will be olive, which is one of my favorite colors. It's not my top favorite, but it's a favorite. Do olive, copper, and espresso. Ooh, I like the chocolate and dark blue. That is a good combination. Let's see if they, ooh, they don't give us that one, but hold on. They give us a similar one here. We have next for another combination was burgundy, camel, and gold. And remember, the gold is like the antique gold or the light gold, not the bright gold. Okay. I want to figure out how to create this and create um, a content around this list so that you guys can go back to get it. Okay. So that's something I will work on over there. I know some of us are not gold girls. I know it, but we have a silver coming up. Next, we have rust, forest green, and ivory. Now, I'm like, that to me is a great fall combination. And then here we go, everybody. Plum, so that deep purple with charcoal, a darker gray, and silver. How does that? I love that combination. Now for the blue, we have navy, the mustard, and camel. I'm loving that too. Thank you. And yeah, I'm like plum, charcoal, and silver. So last night, when we were going through the beads, and I was telling you, hey, here's one for this, here's one for that. It was in prep for today. I hadn't given you the list yet, but now you understand why I was saying that last night. Um, we also have terracotta, sage, and cream. That reminds me somewhat of a southwestern look with the warm colors. So yeah, so we've got that. So once again, that was terracotta, sage, and cream. I'm just like, that would be cool. Next, we have mocha. So not a dark chocolate, but a darker color. Cranberry for the red and antique gold. Awesome. Thank you, Jose, for getting us teared up. I appreciate that. Here's another one using forest green, burgundy, and copper, olive, eggplant, and bronze. Doesn't that sound just like whoop? Now, so those are some combinations. I also asked Chat GPT to give me the color combinations with a story name. Because if we are going to be creating, sometimes you will, my hair is driving me nuts. You will do it with like as a, some people do, I do not do this. This is not me, but there are some that do this where your whole entire line is based upon one color, one set of colors. and then you name that line with a theme. So this is they gave us sometimes 4 colors for these, sometimes 3. So just think about it from that aspect and see what other colors you could bring in to create a theme. Yeah, copper is really going to be a color for this fall. I'm going to see what I want to do to get this out there is that I'm going to use I'm going to use AI to help me get this together so that when I say here is a theme, it's going to give us a picture of the theme. It might be squares or it might be different beads in it. I'm going to work on this over the weekend, okay? So don't expect it tomorrow, but this is like one of the things. I've got 2 goals for this weekend. Number one is to create content on how to do with the electronic communications and what you do when you receive it. So that if you're new or coming back, that you could do that. Then I might want to take some of these color combinations and try to create content around that so that you can see different, so you can actually picture it and not hear me verbally say it. And so if we do it that way, we could have a different video for each color theme or each combination, or put 2 of them or 3 of them together. So it's a way to create content. So for those of you that run a business, what I'm talking about here to create content, to promote what you're doing, this is how you do it. And yes, I will tell you, yes, you can, Nordic Luna. You can always add a request. That creating content, however you do it, I use Chat GPT to help me out. I don't have the answers to all the questions and getting it out there. It would take me too long. But AI helps with that. I'm like waiting for it. Oh, there you go, Zuli. Zuli says, now then we can do a challenge around the themes. And we can, this could be something that could turn into something that we could continuously do, but I don't know. We got to see how hard it is because, I am a one person show. Oh, no, I was going to put the colors in there. You're going to laugh. I've been taking things from ChatGPT, putting them into Canva, and then Canva being able to like pop them up so you don't get everything all at once. I love in that feature on it, but I use templates that someone else has created to be doing that. I am not the Canva queen. I will tell you that. So for themes, or if you want to call it a story, theme stories, that type of thing, here's the words that they used. They used pumpkin patch. Now, when I think pumpkin patch, in my head, when I heard that, I thought like the green vines or the stems, type thing from the pumpkins, the white, like the off white pumpkins, the orange pumpkins, of course. But they came up with these colors, and I didn't think about it. Now that they said them, I'm like, okay, rust, mustard, cream, and moss. Yep. So that when I saw those colors together, I'm like, it's not the bright orange, it is the rusty orange. And I'm like, that fits. So that's where we're going to do this. And that's where we got to think these through. We don't have to like, one thing I want you guys to take a step back as we were talking about this whole entire creating stacks or creating is that literally we don't have to think of all these and stress ourselves out. Ooh, burnt orange. Yeah, you're going to need the mocha. Now, apple orchard. When I think apple orchard, I'm thinking red, like the lighter green and brown, that type of thing. I don't think about the leaves I'm just thinking about apple. But here's the colors they came up with this one: burgundy, olive, and camel. Yep. And we're gonna have to do this. I think we need to do this for the winter colors too. I'm loving this thought process. I don't know how I'll go forward with it, but when I started really thinking about this and when I put that on our tutorial, I'm like, I can make it, I can teach you, but I wanted to take this a step further to like start thinking about some of the parts that we have a hard time when we're in a creative rut. Yep, Zulie's the queen of mixes. I am not. This help is helping me out with it, and I'm loving it. We also have Harvest Moon. So this one I think is a cool one. Gold tones, mocha, and cream. And I'm like, so when you walk outside and you see a harvest moon, what colors are you seeing? Because with the harvest moon, you will see those cream colors in the sky. There you go. So I was like, that's cool. Woodland Walk, forest green, chocolate, and copper together. We had that one up above, I believe, but when you can give it a name, cozy cabin, espresso, charcoal, and camel. All very neutral, dark, cabiny type, warm, cozy feel. I'm just like, oh, yeah, oh, adding in the rust in that one. Yep. See, you can add in a color. That's what I want you guys to think about is how can you add in colors and make it so you can make it a line and a dark blue. Ooh, autumn sunset. This one is like one of my favorites because you guys know I love sunsets. Buttercup and I, when we can get some beautiful sunsets, we're both out there taking pictures of sunsets. We love the colors that all come out when you have a sunset. But an autumn sunset, burnt orange, plum, and golds. Yeah, it's beautiful. And with me, with that one, I would add in, those are very warm colors there, but there are some pinks that you could do with those and adding in that. Or certain, and pink can be warm because of the red tones to it. So if you can find a pink with more red tone, but also a little bit of blue in there, a certain type of the blue. Ooh, sage and that would be good. So Ashley's the same way about sunsets. We just love them at our house. Maple Grove. So I love maple leaves. We actually have maple leaves in our yard that are green and then they turn to this really cool red. But it's like there's also an orange tone to it. So for the Maple Grove, they're going with the cranberry, the red, the rust for that orange, and then chocolate for the tree. I'm like, yep. If we just added in the right tone of green, and it's not quite the forest green, but it is a darker tone of green, I think it would be totally awesome to add in a fourth color. Oh, yep. And they talk about the plums. But we didn't talk about the mauves. That's a good one. And some amber. Ooh, that would be. Falling leaves. We've got mustard, olive, and copper. And I'm like, if we could add in a little bit of the like maybe the what was it? Now I gotta go back up to my reds, like the mulberry in there or the merlot. Because reds come into play with falling leaves. Morning fog. So think about in the morning, what colors do you see if it's foggy out? That mushroom, that's what I think of when a color, like the fog color. It's not white, it's not gray, it's in between. And then you can add in some charcoal and some sage. And I'm like, that truly is what you see with fog. Bonfire nights. That one is like when I see bonfire nights, the dark browns, the rich amber colors or burnt orange colors. So, but what they selected was espresso, burgundy, and burnt orange. Midnight blue would be awesome in there too. So, when you think about all these color combinations and just what we've started here with the stories or the themes, you can add in other colors to expand it. And if you're someone that uses those to create your lines, that would be awesome. Or like Zuli, with her, she creates color mixes because a lot of us, me, have a hard time putting those colors together. But with the help of ChatGPT, because I can tell you, I did not come up with this on my own. I was able to go and find what our colors are for specifically for the fall, and then take that, put that into ChatGPT, and give me color combinations. So those are the tools that I use to come up with what we have today. So that I think will help with color combinations. The other thing that when we're creating stacked bracelets or stacked jewelry is that sometimes it isn't all about the color combination that frustrates us sometimes. I get frustrated with this too, and that is the beads going together. I personally, thank you, Julie. That's what these tutorials are all about. It's to create the inspiration. I don't tell you how, I will teach you guys the combinations. I will give you guys inspiration, and I want you to take it and run. Ah, Zilly uses her husband's paint palette book from the paint shop. And it's true. If you go into the paint sections of the stores, or you can go into a paint store. They're going to have little pa- uh, pamphlets with color combinations of how to paint a room and how to put the decor in the room. You can use those too to help you. Truly, that is an awesome idea. And I have done that before. I really have to create jewelry. So go walk into like Menards, Lowe's, Home Depot, go to the paint section, and there will be like, well, do you need help getting paint? I'm like, nope, just looking. And all I want is those pamphlets. So yeah, let me tell you. But one of the other things that I really wanted to talk about here today was about your beads. So, how I created these three is I knew I wanted the darker greens. I wanted medium toned browns. I didn't want, like the mocha type scenario. If you look at these, my browns are not like chocolate browns in here. They're the medium shades of the browns. So I wanted those in there, and I wanted orange, but I wanted more of like a burnt orange tone or a rust tone orange, and not like Halloween orange or the bright orange. Okay. So what I did is literally I grabbed my trays and I looked at them, and I looked at all the colors that are in the tray and said, what beads fit that? And I grabbed and I narrowed it down. We all have our own collection of beads, and our sizes are of how many beads we have is different between each person. But the thing to think about is, how can I take this and narrow it down? I knew I didn't want this color of an orange when I was creating those. I wanted more of this color of orange, but this bead was too big to me for the bracelets that I wanted to create. So I had to like find that tone in all of the different orange trays that I have. This one here, right here, are you talking about? And yes, that is like to me the fall pumpkin orange. But I also think sometimes this gets there for it. So, and this has black lines and it's got that pumpkin look. But he's a larger bead than I wanted for this, for making these bracelets, if that makes sense. So I had to I was looking at each time I grabbed something, even here, I was grabbing this one. And I'm like, I don't want the dark darks. Those would be a great earring. They would. And I found something that an idea for an earring too that I was like, I've never thought of that. But I don't know whose it was because I watched the video and then I went on my way. Oh, yeah. Yep. And so, like, literally, I looked at this tray and I'm like, nope, this tray isn't exactly it. Maybe this one here. But then, we've got the golds. This could be one of our golds. Yesterday we were talking about you could use those as a spacer bead. But then I got another tray of brown out and I'm like, okay, we have more in here that I'm looking for. This over here. Maybe a little bit darker, type thing. This one, not what I'm looking for. Literally, that is how I narrowed down to get to a smaller amount of beads. And then from there, I narrowed it down to 9 different beads for the colors. So literally, there are 9 different colors of beads in each one of these bracelets. It might look like I've used some of the beads from bracelet to bracelet, and I did not. Their tones are very similar. Like this green here is very similar to this green. I'll show you over here in just a second. But this one is a little bit brighter. This is darker, faceted, not faceted. So that's the difference. Do they have to match 100%? No, they do not. As you see, our greens do not match 100%. They just have to be in a similar. You also have to think about when you're putting the beads together. We all deal with this, and sometimes I had the hardest time with this when I do stacks. And that is, I always thought everything had to be faceted or everything had to be not faceted. I couldn't mix. Don't ask me why. I've had that thought in my head for a very, very long time. So on this one, you're going to see I have a round, and I have a faceted. Okay, I'm going to show you over here. We have a round, faceted. But what blends this all together is the fact that it blends with all the bracelets type scenario. So it was okay. I actually tried to use this bead here that has the multicolors on it on nope, not that. Which one was it? This one for the brown. I've got this faceted brown here. It didn't work well. It just didn't look right. And that's okay. But the thing is that you also have to push through and go, what doesn't it look right about? And it really truly was that I had 2 larger beads that were against each other. So you need to have different sizes of your colors too to help just blend it all together. When Zuli makes and Zuli could probably be way better at making color combinations than me. We all love her color combinations. But if you notice in her combinations, the beads are not all the same size. They're not all the same texture. And what I mean by texture is she will have different shapes for texture and she has different, she'll have smooth versus faceted. So you got to have all of the different things to create the texture so that it all blends together. And I don't know how else to explain it than just take some and go back and forth. Thank you, Clarabelle, for the follow. And so doing that, and if I didn't pronounce that right, please, my apologies. But doing that helps you get those all together. And then I even have in each one of the bracelets, I have antique bronze in every one of them. Oh, thank you. And they are in different shapes. I'm going to show you over on the tube here in a moment. Here we have a flower. This one is just an oval, but it has a bump in the oval. And this one is actually a double rondelle. They are not the same exact shade of the antique bronze, and that's okay. We just have to be similar and just being cohesive. And so when I had all 9 of my colored beads, plus the 3 different kinds of the antique bronze together, I could look at them and I had them down on my table and I said they all go good together. And now I just need to lay them out so that they go well together. You have to understand, this is not my forte at all. I will tell you guys, this is not my forte. I am not great on getting the beads. Get frustrated doing that. But when, but what I did is I just took the time and the moment to just be like, okay, I just need it to blend well. I don't need it to match. I am such a symmetrical person when I create, and I had to let that go, which is not my area. You guys all know it's easier for me to just do like a pattern of four things, repeat pattern, four things, repeat pattern, because that's easy for me. Hey, Patty, that ultimately, the one thing I'm very proud of about these three, I sat back and thought about how do we do this? Aha, you're symmetrical too. So I had to sit back and think about how can we do this so that it makes sense to us that are symmetrical and being able to create something like this. And so I literally, when I went to make those, thought about it from the aspect of just find similar. It does not have to be the same. And that I just want to have these there. Yep, the freestyling, and I thought it would take me forever. I put a time limit. We talked about, our time and stuff here. I've talked about it a lot. I put a time limit on how long I was going to take to make these. My time limit for choosing beads and creating them was 30 minutes. Now, that doesn't seem like it's a very long time if you're somebody that is like me, where you're symmetrical and finding things and it just literally is hard. But guess what? I did it. And what I did is opened my mind, kind of like Clarabelle's telling us in here. You don't always have to be symmetrical, just let it flow. And I don't know how else to say it than tell yourself, let it flow, narrow it down to 9 colored beads and 3 metal beads for a total of 12 different beads that you will figure out a combination for. Once I narrowed that down to, yes, it sounds like a lot, but we made 3 bracelets that are individual, not alike at all, with 12 different beads. You could take some of those beads and mix them into each other to have more of a cohesive look if you want. But my thoughts when I did this is I wanted 3 separate bracelets that had similar hues and colors, textures. So you will notice they all have a round bead on them. They all have faceted beads, but they're not in any way that they are the exact same bead across them. It was just let it go. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know why you would be asking that because I don't deliver there. Yep, it's all about sensory. You're right, Rocky. And it just flowed. And that's why I wanted to talk about this tutorial more so from the aspect of how to get to that point, because sometimes we have our creative ruts and we can't get out of them and go. You guys have heard me. I said yesterday, not yesterday, the day before. Yep, you got to just let your mind be. She is correct. You can mix your metals, you can mix your materials. Like I I am getting better at mixing my materials than I am about mixing my metals. But we just need to let it go and it'll go. And I'm talking from this person that used to, when I started undoing my jewelry on my really dirty bead board, starting at 0 and going up on each side, having it be identical. The way to get out of that for me was to take away the bead board. They're there if I need them, but you guys watch. I do not do it. Yep, it is hard. It's hard for the person that organizes the beads in a certain way. It is hard, but it is possible. And that's what I want you guys to look at. And I'm thinking with all of these color combinations that we talked about for the fall, it's going to help. So that's where, you guys know from me, I want to create inspiration for you guys to start going. I've always talked about I'm going to teach you the basics. I am not in today's teaching you how to create a stretch bracelet, but I wanted to talk about everything else here and see what you guys can do. What I really, really hope that I get to see from today's tutorial is that you guys will post something that you were inspired to create by this talk. This was more of a discussion. It wasn't about like teaching technique, it was about teaching inspiration. Does that make sense, everybody? Please say that made sense. And that's what I want to see what you have. And I know Zuli talked about we could use these for our for her bi-weekly creative challenges that she does. And when you guys, if you post them to Zuli's, then I get to see them too. And I want to see that. Yeah, I get you, Zuli. She's got over here. My eye twitches when creating or designing with mixed metals or beads. I can do the beads better than I can do metals. And Clarabelle says, this is art. And it really is. And that's what I really truly was excited about for today is that we talk about creating jewelry. If you go to the juried events and do those types of in-person events, it really is about being art. And when I think about art, I always think that high-end boutique look, but this is still art. And to me, I am so daggone proud that I was able to do this. If I would have done this and thought about the technique and the way I did it yesterday versus the past, I would have like given up on this because that's not how I used to create, but I've changed it. And I want to change going forward and see if we can do it. So that's where I wanted to tell you guys is take inspiration, let things go, and we can do something that we never thought we could. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Zuli. And so, if literally, I know I keep saying this, literally a year ago, this would not have been the way I would have done it. And I'm super proud of it. I haven't even shown Ryan to see what he thinks of it. Because you guys, I do show him my stuff and I'll be like, I'm proud of this. So I hope today helped. I know we didn't take a full hour, but I want you guys to take time and like marinate what was said. I will work on getting different videos for content for the next week or two. It's not going to be all at one time that we have one of these videos out there, but it's content that we can put out there and show you all the different combinations and then with the names and with a color sample. It's not going to be finished jewelry that you're going to see because I don't want you to get stuck on the finished product. What I want you to take is that for inspiration. So Ashley said she shows her hubby too. And Nordic Luna says, mine asks if I don't show, and he knows I've been making. I think it's great because we all need the support system in our home and in this community. And the one thing Nordic Luna talks about is if people get stuck, she's like, reach out to me. We can talk about it. And that's what I love about this community is that we reach out to each other and help each other, whether we do it on a disco or if we can do it on a video chat or we are doing it on a live. We all reach out to each other and just have the space to be able to talk to each other about our creativity and what's making us stuck if we're stuck because we all get stuck. We talked about that. I've had really bad creative moments lately and everything is stuck. I wasn't able to create. That's why I didn't do makers meetup. I didn't create in it. We did beads instead. We just need to figure out how do we get out of it. And of all things, AI can help us. I know it sounds silly. Everybody's like, "Ew, AI." And I just watched a thing about AI and how like 60% of the workforce will not use it because they don't understand it. You don't have to understand it. All you need to do is ask it a question to help you be able to move forward. That's my AI soapbox for today. All right, everybody. I am going to hop off here from TikTok and the tube. I will be on the other app. If you want to know what that is, I can't say it here. Go to the pinned post here on TikTok with my schedule. I will be starting there at 3:30 today. And for you on the tube, it is a video with my weekly schedule. Nice meeting you. Please come back. We have lots of fun things. We do tutorials, we have chat times, we have makers meetups, and we have live events where you can claim items. We just have fun here. So I'll be on the other app at 3:30. We will have different kinds of beads available. We're just gonna have the beads. I just brought up a container and we're gonna pull it out. There is no rhyme or reason for what we're bringing, but they're beads, findings, that type of thing. And you know what? I have zero jewelry on today. Did anybody notice that on the live? I just noticed I don't have my earrings or my wedding ring on. I have zero. I don't have my bracelet. Between now and next live, even though you're not going to see me on it, I'll have my ring on. All right, everybody. We'll be on the other one at 3:30. Tomorrow we will be back for an encore event. That is items that we previously had before that didn't empty. We'll be bringing some of those. And that's at 2 p.m. Then at 3:30, we're going to be on the other app with different style of beads. And then at 8 p.m. tomorrow, we're going to have a chat time. We're not going to do it tonight. I moved it to tomorrow night because we have some stuff that it just made sense that we do it tonight. So thank you for letting me flip the schedule around. We still get to have our family time and I don't have to rush. Because I was like, honey, I told Ryan when he wanted to suggested that we'd have family time tonight. I'm like, do you want me to move my live so that we're not rushed? And he's like, that would be wonderful. So he says, thank you for letting me do that. All right, everybody. See you in a few on the other app. Bye.